Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
So I put up a post this morning on Facebook on my personal page, which I will post the link for it if you would like to read it. See the beautiful picture of my husband and I from our date night last night. And what I posted was just something, short. I shouldn't say just something. Short but impactful. Okay, and at the title of this, and of that post, and what I'm calling this episode is What You Don't See. What you don't see in that picture of us is the years of struggling to make our marriage work. What you don't see in that picture is the years of being roommates, loving each other, but being a lot more like best friends than husband and wife. What you don't see in that picture is the consistent 2 years of weekly date nights. 2 years. 104 date nights. Time invested in. What you don't see is the daily text messages that I've sent to my husband for the last 2 years, sharing what I honor and appreciate about him. And what you don't see is the fights, the times that we've gone to war. It's allowed us to get really honest about what we want and need from each other, what we want and need in the marriage. It's allowed us the opportunity to get better at that. You don't see all that in a picture, do you? You just see the end result. And you might check out the post and take a look and go, oh man, that's awesome. You guys look great and you look so happy. But you don't see all the other stuff. So why am I talking about this right now? Because I believe for you, sister, and a lot of the sisters listening to this podcast, you want a certain result, and you have in your mind of what it looks like. Right? You have an expectation that you're attached to how that looks like. And you might even actually get to the point where it looks the way you want it to look. You expect it to look. But what you're not anticipating is the work that fucking requires. You know how when you watch it's kind of like when you watch a sport. Okay, so when's the last time I kind of had this feeling? I don't really watch sports, but I can remember, watching, say, like figure skating. Okay? I figure skated as a young kid. I didn't really get all that far, but I figure skated. And there's times that I might have seen something recently. I'm like, I could do that. I can't do that, right? Like, it's that thing where someone who does something well, they make it look really easy. But it was far from easy, right? You see, any athlete is such a great example because we'll see that and it'll look, people will use words like effortless, like he or she was born that way. They just had this innate talent within them. And although all those things could be possible, I'm going to have you just really think about this. And is there a possibility that someone worked their motherfucking ass off to get to that? And they continue to. I remember reading some stuff about Tiger Woods, golfer Tiger Woods, years ago. This is before his kind of, not doing so great in golf. I don't know if he's even playing anymore. I'm not even really sure. And all the stuff that happened with his marriage and all that kind of shit, right? But Tiger Woods in his heyday, we're going to say. Tiger Woods was a very different golfer. The majority of golfers back around the time that he was really in his zone, they didn't do anything but golf. Hence, you would sometimes see like the big guys with the big fat guts. They could golf well, and all they did was golf. They didn't do anything else as far as their training, and they most certainly did not do a lot of training in the off season. And by the way, this was the case for a lot of athletes. It used to be. Football players is a great example. Okay, football players get back into regular season. They have a month, typically in August, where they train. And guess what? For a lot of people, a lot of the guys who are playing, it's to like cut weight. because they've sat on their ass in the off season. They've gotten out of shape and fat, and so it takes a month for them to get back to that space. And so I remember reading some stuff about Tiger Woods and how he lifted weights and he ran and he just trained. Like it didn't stop. He didn't, take his foot off the gas. And so you didn't see a lot of that. What did you see? You saw a kid who was like, a child prodigy, stuff you might have seen in Tiger Woods when he's like 2 or 3, stands with him on the golf course. Like you saw some of that stuff and you might go, oh, well, since he was little. Yeah, you know what I see from that? Someone who's been perfecting their craft for years. And so it's what you don't see. And you just might have seen again what Tiger Woods was winning, right? All the tournaments that he won, all the titles, the purses, the money that he made, the sponsorships, like all of that. But see, it's what you don't see. It's that invisible work that you don't see, that you don't realize right now. And again, you want that thing, whether it be in your marriage, whether it be in your business or in your body with your family, but you don't quite understand and get the work that it's going to take. And here's the thing. When it comes to marriage, so what's worked in my marriage, I share with you here on the podcast, sister, what's worked for me, and I share that with you. I share with you what's worked with my clients, which is what's worked for me, and I share that with my clients. And so what's worked are simple things. It's crazy, right? We think like, oh, I got to go to like this like retreat, and we're going to take a week and go on a holiday, and like that'll somehow fix things or make it better or give us what we want. But what we don't understand is like, it's simple things. Be honest in your communication. Communicate a lot. Send each other appreciation through a daily text every single day, and weekly date night, without fail. Like those are the 3 things that have made my marriage go from so-so and married to my roommate to like, holy shit, my husband's fucking hot. I can't wait to have alone time with you. Like, I love you at a depth I've never experienced before. We've been together for almost 25 years, sister. To have that feeling like it was when you first met. But that's, to me, that feeling is like, it's better. It's better. And it's not bullshit. See, I used to see couples and they're like, oh, we're so in love, we never fight. And I was like, dude, something's off with that. Like, I don't believe you. And I just didn't believe, I subscribed to the idea that this is the way marriage looks. That when you're dating and you're all excited and you're first kind of getting to know each other, and that's like the fun time, and then life enters, kids enter, business enters, and you just go, huh? This is just the way it is. I'd accepted that. My husband getting sick. Well, this is just the way it's going to be. I didn't know, and you hearing this message right now might not know. If you want something different, you have to do different. If you want a different result, sister, you have to do something different. You have to have different action. And if you want to see things different, you're going to have to learn how to think different, see the world differently. And that takes work. Not difficult, but it takes a commitment to doing what is required every single fucking day. Because you clearly know what you want and why, and you're committed to it. And you'll do what it takes, no matter what. So for us 2 years ago, we made the decision, like, we're in weekly date nights. It had got accepted into Warrior Week back then, which was Warrior Week 19 or 20. I don't know at that time. We first were introduced to Garrett J. White, Wake Up Warrior, and Garrett's like, you guys have to go on weekly date nights. Like, what the fuck? Like, weekly? Oh, sitter, and who's going to watch the kids, and how much money is that? And he just was like, weekly date nights. We're like, all right, let's be all in with this. And the first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 were awkward. It's crazy, right? I mean, we know each other so well. But it felt weird. We hadn't really taken that time to connect at that level. Yeah, we spent most moments with each other. We had our business together, practice together. We worked out, we did everything together. But yet we didn't connect at that level. So of course it was awkward at first. Of course it felt weird. Of course we talked about the kids and everything else, and it took a little bit of time, right? But when I look back now, 2 years ago to today, it is without a doubt, sister, one of the best decisions we've ever made in our marriage. It is without a doubt the number one thing that made me go from being married to my roommate to being married to the man that is my king, that I truly, deeply, madly love and respect. Do we still have off days? Fuck yes. Do we still fight? Of course. Do I still sometimes, does he drive me crazy? Yes. And there's lessons and things we're going to see in all of that. And there are opportunities for growth. And it's called expansion, sister. And it's how you get better as a couple, stronger in your marriage. Listen, the majority of you that reach out to me, it's about your marriage or your relationship. You'll say it's something else. We start to go in a conversation. You're like, well, that's really, it's my marriage. And if you would have said this to me 2 years ago, this would have fallen on deaf ears. So if this is you right now, that's okay. But hear this. The changes in my marriage, of all the work I've done over the last 2 years, and what turned into this podcast, what turned into coaching, what turned into my life changing, all the different actions, the number one thing that has been foundational, has transformed my life the most, has been my marriage. 1,000% certain on that. 1,000%. So here's your more tip for you then today, sister. Let's make this about marriage, a relationship. Let's do exactly just that. And I know it was just kind of like, you don't see, right? You don't see all the other stuff, but listen, this is a foundational one. Weekly date nights, no matter what. Don't tell me your excuses. Don't tell me your reasons. It's all fucking bullshit. If you want a different result in your marriage, it means you have a weekly date night. It could be you go for a walk. It could be that you go out for coffee, you go out for dinner, you go like whatever you want. But weekly date nights, commit to that, sister. It'll be the invisible work that nobody sees, except maybe if you post your pictures on Facebook every once in a while. But if you want something different, you have to do different. And you have to be willing to do what most people are not, to get what most people don't have. And it's work. And understand that and accept that. And let go of the expectation of what you think it's supposed to look like. And simply do the simple, consistent work. Will you do it, sister? Will you commit to that? So 2 parts to this more tip. Number 1, if you don't already have this, schedule weekly date nights. And by schedule, I don't mean Friday at 5, you go, oh shit, who can watch the kids? Can we get a sitter? Like, where are we going? Like, you plan it, like it matters. What are we doing? Who's watching the kids if you do have children? And that's it. That's it. Second piece of this, so I'll add in, is just, will I commit? Because you can be a great starter, right? But can you finish? Can you continue? I don't want to say finish. I'm going to take that word back. Can you continue to do the work? Not just start, but continue. Make a commitment to this. And I promise you, if your marriage is not exactly where you want it to be right now, this is the one pivotal thing that will shift it. It's simple, right? But will you do it? Will you do it, sister? And listen, like marriage relationship, we talk about this inside the sisterhood. This is one of the things that I actually teach as part of the weekly Facebook Live trainings, as part of the daily sisterhood tips. It's all part of this community that I created about 8 weeks ago because so many of you were not able to coach at the dollar amount that I have for my tuition for my high-end coaching. It starts at $5,000 US and goes up from there for group masterminds and even more for one-on-one. And I just simply did not want to get on the phone with another woman and not have another option of where I can help you. So that's why I created the sisterhood. Ridiculously inexpensive, $1.50 a day. But here's something really cool. You can try it for 7 days for free. It's my gift. No risk for you. No dollars down. come in, meet the other sisters. There's about 75 that are in the sisterhood right now, and it's just growing every single day. And see for yourself. Don't take my word for it. So I want you to head over to drkarenosborn.com/sisterhood to do that. And then for you, those of you already in the sisterhood are just like, okay, that's like, I'm doing it, but like, what's the next step? Like, what do I do next? Then you need to come out here to Victoria, BC, Canada on Saturday, June the 10th for Women Wanting More Live. 1-day event, away from family, husband, work, and be immersed in this process and see what's possible when you're around other women that are like you. See, this is the big part of the sisterhood as well, too. Being around the association. And virtually is amazing. But if you really want to get the results even faster, yes, the sisterhood, but get your ass, get that live event ticket. So right now, early bird pricing is still in effect. There's $77 for this 1-day event, which will absolutely transform your life. I promise you that, sister. So that's over at drkarenosborn.com/live. And again, the sisterhood is drkarenosborn.com/sisterhood. So I will talk the next episode. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day, sister. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborn.com/newsletter.